All right, so guys, welcome back. We're going to talk about your conscious and subconscious mind and how you can reprogram yourself by focusing on these things. All right. So once again, we have our conscious mind, and I'm going to put versus our subconscious mind. All right. I'll put mind. This is a big one down here. So our conscious mind dictates about 5% of our reality. It deals with our awareness. All right. When in the present moment is when we're conscious. All right. And that's usually only 5% of the time. All right. But our subconscious dictates about 95% of our reality. I write 95 right here. And I write 5% here. Now, our subconscious mind is full of our habitual patterns, our programs. So I want to tell you this, from the ages of 1 to 7 years old, all right, is when we were programmed the most. Our brain was in a theta state. Now let me write the brainwave states down. All right, we have 5 total, but I'm going to discuss 4. All right, we have our delta, we have theta, we have alpha, and we have beta. Okay, once again we have 5, but I'm going to discuss 4. Okay. So our subconscious mind from the ages of 1 to 7 is when we were programmed the most because we were in this theta state. All right. Now our theta state is a hypnotic. Y'all get it out your mind. I ain't talking about the drink. I'm talking about hypnotic. It was in a hypnotic state. Okay. So we were susceptible to everything that we experienced from the age of 1 to 7. So whatever our parents believe, whether they believe money was abundant, whether they believed that money was the root of evil, whether they believed that life was great or life was shitty, those were the things that were programmed into our minds, all right, against our will, unconsciously, all right. Your environment, the friends that you play with, the TV shows that you watch, the music that you listen to, all took part in programming you to be the person that you are today. Especially from the ages of 1 to 7, that's when it was strongest. All right. A Tibetan monk always said, give me a child from the age of 1 to 7 and I'll tell you exactly who he's going to be. All right, because they understood that from the ages of 1 to 7 is where children are programmed the most. So that's why it's so important to, when you're from 1 to 7, to make sure that your children are in the best environments possible, to make sure that you are telling them the most positive things ever, to make sure that you are loving them and showing them that life is great, because that'll just make their lives so much easier as they grow up, because they won't have to go in and consciously reprogram themselves with the exact opposite of what they were taught growing up. All right. So once again, 1 to 7, you're programmed, and it just didn't stop at 1 to 7. You're up until the age of 35, or after the age of 35, you're usually hardwired, like with all these sets of programs and things like that. So 35 is like the age. You can change them after 35, but it's so much easier to do it before you turn 35. And once again, if you're over 35, don't get discouraged. All right, do not get discouraged. Control your brain. All right, it can happen for you. Just like Odell Beckham tore his ACL twice. They said he was done. He's got one of the biggest contracts for wide receivers ever. It can happen for you if you believe it can. All right, you got to be confident in yourself and know that you are the person who can disprove any theory. Okay, but so 95% of our day is controlled by these patterns that we have within. All right, and once again, most of those patterns are unconscious. You had no idea that they were getting embedded within you. Okay, so the name of the game is to figure out what is controlling us, what is controlling 95% of our day. All right, and the way that we do that is through meditation, and that's why we wanted to discuss that previously, because that's how you become familiar with who you are. All right, and then the way that we can also reprogram it is through our conscious awareness or our willpower. Okay, willpower, because that's what consciousness deals with. It deals with awareness and also deals with willpower. That's a left brain activity. It's a masculine activity to be disciplined and to have willpower, because willpower says that I'm going to keep doing this until I get a result. All right. So you have to consciously think about what you want to happen. All right, think about the person that you want to be. All right, think about the programs that you want to have within. And the more that you consciously think about that, especially if you're in a peak optimal state, or optimal emotional state, like joy, love, you feel free, then you can more easily program your subconscious with those things that you actually want in there. But you have to be aware. And what does it take to be aware? It takes you getting into the present moment to be aware. That's why meditation, working out, reading is so important, because in order to reprogram yourself, especially if this fucking controls 95% of your day, you have to reprogram yourself with things that you want to be in there. And the only way to reprogram your mind is through willpower, through being conscious, through being aware, through being present. All right. And when you're present, you want to be present with things that you actually want to manifest. Like if you're reading a book, read something that you actually want to experience. Stop reading all these fucking love stories and shit that end up with the person being hurt and in despair, and start watching these fucking TV shows that fucking just is about bullshit, about crime, killing, poverty, and fucking death. Like, stop watching that shit. I'm not saying stop watching it all the time, but you can't be watching that fucking 95% of the time. 95% of the time, it needs to be you focusing on shit that's going to make you better. Focusing on programming your mind with things that you want to experience. That's how serious this has to be. Because if you don't, then the habitual programs that you have within are going to continue to control your life. All right? Seriously. Just like driving, at one point, you had to consciously focus on everything that you had to do to drive. It's like, all right, I got to start the car. All right, foot on the gas. All right, brake. I mean, foot on the brake. Put it in reverse. Slow. Like, you had to consciously think about those things, and then it became a habitual program to where now you can fucking text, fucking eat, drive with no hands, knee on the wheel at the same time. The same thing will happen to you when you start to program your mind with positive things. All right, you won't have to do it forever. All right, just like in the gym, at first it's hard. You won't see results, but then it's like, shit, I'm curling. It's like, damn, my arms are big. Like, damn, I remember when I used to have to like do this all the time, and it's like now I don't have to do as many reps. It's just like, but I'm still getting the same, or if not better results. The same thing will happen with this. You'll start to think great thoughts. You'll start to feel better. And then that'll become a habitual program. And then that'll control 95% of your day. So you'll be thinking, I'm rich, I'm abundant, I'm successful. And that'll start to become your habitual program. And once that becomes your program, then you'll start to automatically attract those things into your life, because you are a computer program. You've updated your software, all right? And once you update your software, everything becomes easier. That's how life works. That's how great God is, man. He made it to the point to where we don't have to just constantly do everything. It's like, but you do have to work hard on you. And once you work hard on you, everything in life becomes easier. All right. I don't know too many people explaining this like this. I don't. And that's why I'm here to do it, because I know I'm bringing a different message to the world, a more efficient message. All right. A lot of people are, and I'm thankful for everybody who talks about this type of stuff, because I've gotten a little from here, a little from there, and I've just tailored it into my own message. But like the way I explain it is just like it's so practical, and it makes so much sense to me. It's like, I remember when it started to click for me, like, oh, okay, damn, I get it. And once again, you never really truly get it. You're always getting it, all right? Because the second that you stop is the second that you start becoming worse. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. All right, the second that I'm telling you, once you feel like you got it, is the second that you start to lose it. All right, you're always getting it. All right, and always remember that, because if you're always getting it, that means you're always getting better. All right, so you'll keep working. You have to have a growth mindset instead of a fixed mindset. A fixed mindset says, I have it, I don't have to do anything. A growth mindset says, I'm not as good as I want to be, but I'm going to do everything I can to be better. All right, and the name of the game is to get better, constantly get better, because as you get better constantly, your life is going to get better. And as your life get better, everybody around you lives get better. And then they affect the people who are around them, and then they affect the people who are around them. And it's just it's just a domino effect. We're all connected, so we all have to care about our well-being to care about the well-being of everybody else around us. It's really that important. Don't be selfish, bro. Don't be selfish. Like, be the best version of yourself so you can change the vibration of the planet. All right, and once the vibration of the planet changes, everything around us will change. We'll stop seeing all this fucking crime. We'll stop seeing all the chaotic shit that we see. We'll stop seeing all the confused, anxious people. We'll heal the land once we heal ourselves. All right, it really starts with the man in the mirror, like my man Mike Jackson said. Rest in peace to the great. All right, but once again, you have to make sure that you are consciously focused on the things that you want to experience, the things that you want to be, in order to reprogram your subconscious mind. All right, and the best time to do this is in the morning and at night when we're about to go into deep sleep. And I'll tell you exactly why. All right, so our delta brainwave state is our state of deep rest and recovery. All right, our theta state is our hypnotic state. Okay, our alpha state is our meditative state. Okay, and then we have our beta state, which is our state of awareness. So whenever we go to sleep, we're in our delta state. That's why people, when you're sick, they're like, go take a nap, go to sleep, because you'll feel better, because your body actually gets to recover. Your body is a healing machine. It is the best doctor on the planet. All right, it has everything it needs within in order to heal itself naturally. All right, you don't have to do anything but be at a peak optimal state, and your body will reflect or repel any type of sickness or disease that you have. Our theta state is when we're waking up. We go from delta to theta to alpha to beta. So as we wake up, we go through these states, and then it's when we're first waking up, we're in this alpha state. Okay, our alpha state is once again our meditative state, and it's where we're it's where in our waking state where it's easier to reprogram our mind. All right, so that's why I said in the morning it's best to do these types of things. It's best to write words of affirmation. It's best to listen to audiobooks. It's best to once again, writing words of affirmation is like writing in your journal. It's best to work out, and it's best to meditate, because then it's easier for you to tap into your subconscious mind to where you can reprogram it with the things that you want to experience. All right, because after you wake up, most people start to go into this beta state. It's in that awareness, that conscious awareness state. And a lot of people go straight to high beta. Now, high beta is where we don't want to be, especially for prolonged periods of time. That's that fight or flight. All right, that's when we're more anxious. That's where sickness and disease happens, because our immune system is cut off. We get less blood flow. All right, our body tightens up, our muscles tighten up, and it's just not our peak state for us. It's not a state of homeostasis. So if you're in those states of high beta, you are more susceptible to thinking negative thoughts and having negative emotions, which are going to lead to negative experiences, which is going to lead to more negative thoughts and negative emotions. All right. And the only way to get your brainwave states back down to this alpha mode after they've been in high beta is to either work out or meditate. All right. It's usually that simple. You have to or rest or to sleep. Okay. You have to slow the momentum down of this negative, of that beta of the brainwave states, because all these are delta is a slow brainwave state. Theta is a little faster than delta. Alpha is a little faster than theta, and beta is the fastest brainwave state. And in order to reprogram your mind, you have to slow your brainwave states down. You have to. That's the only, I'm not going to say the only way, but through my ignorance, that is the only way, or the most efficient way to get this done. Okay, because once you're in those high beta, it's extremely difficult, especially if you're in high beta for prolonged periods of time. It's extremely difficult to want to slow your brainwave states down, because your body is going to say no. Your mind's going to say no. I like it here. This is what's comfortable for me. I don't want to get uncomfortable and slow my brainwave states down. So it's going to do everything it can do to knock you out of that meditation, to not get you to put your shoes on and go work out. All right, because your brain it's not here to make you better. It's here to protect you. It's like that parent who doesn't want you to get hurt, although getting hurt is the best thing for your evolution. All right, it doesn't practice unconditional love with you. It loves you to a fault because it wants you to stay the same. It wants you to be its baby forever. But you have to grow, you have to mature and grow up and take control of your brain and let your brain know, hey, I can do this. Trust me, I can do this. And the way that you build trust with your brain is to stay disciplined. All right, your brain will start to trust you if you can be disciplined. It'll start to believe what you tell it if you show your brain that I'm disciplined enough to continuously do this every day. But your brain is not going to accept it if it knows you bullshit. Like, man, this he ain't for real. Like, let's stay right here, because he's not going to be ready for what he's trying to manifest. It's just going to make him sad. It's going to make him worse. All right, and we're going to keep him here. But you got to, like I said, you have to present to your brain. You have to show your brain that you are disciplined, that you are dedicated, and that you have raised your standards. And then everything will change for you. But it starts with slowing your brainwave states down and getting more into this alpha state. All right, this alpha state is the state that we really want to be in. Okay, it's where we can think, and it's where we're not reacting, we're responding. All right, it's where we're more present. All right, it's literally present awareness, into where we can reprogram our mind with the things that we want to be in there, so we don't have to keep consciously thinking about it. All right, so that's why it's so important to understand the workings of your subconscious and your conscious, because until you understand this, then you can take 5 steps forward but 8 steps back, because that habitual program that is controlling 95% of your day, if it contradicts the conscious thought that you're thinking, especially a positive thought, then your life has no choice but to revert back to that program that's within. All right, because that is what's hardwired into your body. But once again, you can hardwire your subconscious with different thoughts and different emotions, but you have to do it consciously. And when are you conscious? When you're in the present moment. How do you get into the present moment? Through meditation and through working out. And what state, what brainwave state are you in when you're in the present moment? Alpha. And that's why it's best to be a fucking alpha dog. Next, we're going to talk about how to actually manifest. All right. And this is the big thing. All right. Because I think this is the part that's going to help really change everybody's lives. All right, we're going to talk about exactly how to manifest and exactly how to get what you want. All right, you follow these practical steps, I guarantee you will manifest the reality of your dreams.